Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanama. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. More than 100 houses damaged by massive fire in Mohottari's Matihani. Fire brought under control after 5 hours. Losses measured at least 150 million rupees. Former President Vidya Devi Bhandari hints at making a return to national politics. UML divided over the idea. Senior Vice Chair Pokhriel says there is nothing to stop Bhandari's return. Qatar's Emir returns after 2 days state visit of Nepal. MOUs and agreement on 8 sectors signed. Nepal, however, fails to make full use of the Emir's visit. And Nepal's national football team heading to England for a friendly. 20 ENFA members accompanying the team. More than 100 houses have been damaged by a massive fire in Mohottari's Matihani municipality. The incident took place in a settlement with Muslim population, especially those with poor economic backgrounds, and the preliminary estimates of losses have been put at more than 150 million rupees. Many families have lost their homes. Police administration is currently investigating the reason behind the incident. More than half of the houses in Ward number 6 have been damaged. Winds played a role in spreading the fire. Nepal and Qatar have agreed to collaborate in 8 sectors. The meeting between Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal and Qatar's Emir, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, reached 8 deals, of which 6 are at the government level, while the other 2 are related to private sector. The deals include the MOU for cooperation in the fields of culture and arts between the Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation of Nepal and the Ministry of Culture of the State of Qatar. It also includes the MOU for cooperation in the field of education, higher education and scientific research between the Government of Nepal and the Government of State of Qatar. The MOU on cooperation in field of youth and sports between the Government of Nepal and the Government of State of Qatar was also signed. Also, the MOU on cooperation between the Office of the Attorney General of Nepal and the Public Prosecution of the State of Qatar, and MOU on cooperation in the field of diplomatic training and education between the Institute of Foreign Affairs IFA of the Government of Nepal and the Diplomatic Institute of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the State of Qatar, and the renewal of the MOU between Qatar Chamber and the Federation of Nepalese Chamber of Commerce and Industry FNCCI were signed. Similarly, the agreement on cooperation and exchange of news between National News Agency, Nepal RSS, and Qatar News Agency, QNA, and the agreement on the establishment of Joint Business Council, JBC, between Qatar Chamber and the Federation of Nepalese Chamber of Commerce and Industry were also signed during the bilateral meeting. The Qatari Emir arrived in Kathmandu on a 2-day visit to Nepal yesterday and returned earlier today. His earlier Nepal visit, scheduled for November 6th and the 7th last year, had to be postponed due to emerging tensions in the Middle East, followed by the clash between Israel and Hamas militants. This is the first high-level visit to Nepal from the Gulf nation, which hosts approximately 400,000 Nepali migrant workers. The Nepal visit of Qatari Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani was of interest, as more than 400,000 Nepali migrant workers are employed in the country. As Qatar is considered close to Hamas, release of Nepali student Bipin Joshi, who has been held hostage, should have been in Nepal's priority. However, Nepal seems to have failed in raising both these issues during the Qatari Emir's Nepal visit. Labour agreement and release of Bipin should have been prioritized during Qatari Emir's Nepal visit, which was considered significant. But Nepal seems to have missed out on these issues. The Qatari Emir's visit was also being seen with keen interest, as around 400,000 Nepali nationals are employed in the country. The 19-year-old labour agreement with Qatar was also expected to be revisited. However, inadequate preparation from Nepal and lack of interest from Qatar did not lead to any progress. The visit was also expected to expedite the release of Bipin, who remains held by Hamas. However, at a time when Qatar itself is involved in efforts for halting the war between Israel and Hamas, Nepal failed to utilize the opportunity. In addition to these 2 topics, Nepal appeared ill-prepared in other topics as well. Despite not being included in the agenda for bilateral talks, President Ramchandra Paudel and Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal personally spoke to the Emir about initiating efforts for Bipin's release. Nepal's immature diplomacy was exhibited by Prime Minister Pushpa Dahal, making public statements about effort for Bipin's release before Qatar's Emir arrived Nepal. At a time when such serious issues should have been addressed diplomatically, possible risks of public statements were ignored. Despite failing to utilize Nepal visit of the Qatari Emir, it has been considered successful in spreading a positive message about Nepal in the international community, especially just ahead of the investment summit. Addressing a program organized by CPN-UML on Monday, former President Vidya Devi Bhandari suggested for the unification among communist parties, which has hinted towards the possibility of her returning to active politics. However, she has not issued a clear statement in this regard. Two polarized voices regarding whether or not should Bhandari return to active politics are being heard within CPN-UML. However, the group making efforts for Bhandari's return to active politics has been enthused with the development. On the occasion of the 75th year of establishment of Nepal Communist Party, CPN-UML felicitated Bhandari with Republic Pride Honour. According to the UML chair Oli, the honour is the biggest award of CPN-UML. While UML decided to honour her in capacity of former president, to which she agreed, it remains to be seen if UML is also considering her return to active politics. Bhandari's statement while addressing the program has raised many eyebrows. Her statement has been taken as more of a political connotation than greetings for the event. She served as the president for 2 terms and is a common figure for all Nepali nationals. In addition to her statement having already risen above political parties, questions are also being raised on why she presented herself as a representative of a party. A few UML members have been voicing for having Bhandari as the chairperson from the upcoming General Convention of the party. Analysts have identified 3 reasons for her possible return. One of them, soft ties with Chinese president. The next, effort from some members of UML for her return. And the third, her own active participation at political events. However, CPN-UML chair KP Sharma Oli himself used to suggest Bhandari until a few months ago to stay put with national honour. Whether Monday's honour was a reinforcement of Oli's suggestion or the key to opening doors for her return remains to be seen. Former head of the state usually do not return to active politics. For instance, former President Ram Mohan Yadav is away from politics. The group inside UML, which is against Bhandari's return, has identified 3 reasons: ethical dilemma, Oli's unwillingness, and lack of confidence on her leadership, even if the communist parties unite. Other important questions raised by Monday's development is regarding how Oli was convinced and prepared to invite Bhandari to attend the party's program. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before today's question, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we asked you what kind of projects should the government prioritize to generate employment at a large scale. 33% voted for option A, agriculture-based, 36% for B, industries and factories, and 31% for C, services and tourism. Here's today's question. What do you term the talks about return of former President Vidya Devi Bhandari to active politics? Your options are A, normal, B, against the constitution, and C, drawing controversy. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now, in our Public Voice segment, today we've asked in several provinces what they think of schools taking admission fees from students every year. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
निशुल्क शिक्षा र एउटा शुल्क दिने शिक्षा छ त्यो शुल्क लिने शिक्षालाई खारेज गरी निशुल्क शिक्षा लागू गर्न पर्दछ। हरेक सालको निम्ति चाहिँ जुन वार्षिक शुल्क भनेर ठुलो चर्को रकम लिने गरिन्छ यो चाहिँ गार्जियनहरुलाई पनि धेरै गाह्रो भएको महसुस मलाई लाग्छ। यो कमाउ धन्दा भन्दा अरु केही हैन।
निजी स्कुलहरुको आफ्नो एकदमै व्यथिति हो।
एकचोटी भर्ना भएपछि नलिनु पर्ने 1 महिनाको 1.5 महिनाको 2 महिनाको सम्मको मन्थली फीमा जोडेर लिने गरिया त्यो चाहिँ गलत हो।
भन्नलाई चाहिँ शिक्षा र स्वास्थ्य निशुल्क भन्ने तर विद्यार्थीसँग वर्षैपिछे भर्ना शुल्क लिने कुरा चाहिँ यो कानुन विपरीत छ। यो सरकारको लाचारीपन हो। यसलाई नियन्त्रण गर्नुपर्छ।
सरकारी विद्यालयहरुमा निशुल्क भएपछि निजी विद्यालयहरुमा पनि निशुल्क भइदियो।
शिक्षा शाखाले के हेरिरहेको छ?
निजी विद्यालय सञ्चालकहरुको उहाँहरुको पेशा भएको कारणले यसलाई चाहिँ सामान्य रूपले नै ल्याउँछु किनभने उहाँहरुको जीविका चलाउने एउटा पेशा हो।
शैक्षिक भ्रष्टाचार हो। यो लिनु चाहिँ गलत भयो।
आफ्नै विद्यार्थी 4 बाट 5 मा जाँदा भर्ना शुल्क लिएपछि यो स्वतः लुटेको हैन। यो वैधानिक डाका गरेको जतिकै हो यो।
एकपल्ट भर्ना गरेको स्कुलमा भएको विद्यार्थीले अब फेरि पटक उनीलाई दोहोर्याएर चाहिँ भर्ना गर्न चाहिँ यो गलतै हो।
सुरुमा एडमिसन गरिसकेपछि रिन्यु स्वरूप सामान्यतया थोरै न्यूनतम शुल्कहरूसम्म राख्न त स्वाभाविक थियो।
Israeli retaliatory attacks in the Gaza Strip has killed 34,183 Palestinians and injured 77,143, data released by the Enclave's Health Ministry has showed. Over the past 24 hours, Israeli military operations in Gaza have caused 32 deaths. The Israeli military said that it continued operations in central Gaza, killing several Palestinian armed fighters and attacking multiple Hamas military targets from air, including military facilities such as observation posts and rocket launching sites. The Israeli military said following Israeli military operations will target Palestinian armed fighters and their military facilities in parts of Beit Lahia city, northern Gaza, warning residents in the targeted regions to seek asylum immediately in designated areas in vicinity. Meanwhile, in a video statement, in fact, Obaida, the spokesperson of Al-Qassam Brigades, an armed wing of Hamas, said that Israel's claim that it had eliminated most of the resistance in Gaza was a huge lie and called for intensified attacks on Israeli forces from all battlefronts. It is time now for another short break. We'll be right back.
Sports news.
The All Nepal Football Association, ENFA, is organizing Nepal's match against England C. At a time when the match is slated for 6th of May, less than 2 weeks away, Team Nepal began preparations for the match only from Tuesday. With the limited preparation time for the match, a friendly against Aldershot Town Club, this opportunity is likely to be limited to an abroad visit of the players and officials. Team Nepal are to play a friendly against Aldershot Town FC. The team competes in the National League, the 5th level of the English football system, on 6th of May. ENFA is yet to set the criteria for selection of players for the national team. Head coach Vincenzo Alberto Anis has already announced the team from Italy. Team Nepal have already crashed out from the World Cup qualifiers with 4 defeats. Aldershot is a town in England with huge presence of Nepali nationals. However, with poor preparation, Team Nepal are likely to disappoint their supporters. With inadequate preparation, questions have surfaced regarding if the tour will be limited to foreign visit for recreation purpose. In the pretext of the friendly, ENFA has also planned itineraries for the visit of its officials. According to sources at ENFA, additional 20 officials are to be sent with the Nepali team. With visas to be taken for the tournament, ENFA saying that these officials visiting Europe on their own has been deemed an irresponsible statement. Saying resources were abused during the matches against Malaysia and Bahrain, the ministry has already warned of taking actions against ENFA, which receives aid from World Football Governing Body FIFA and the Asian Football Confederation AFC. Funding from the government of Nepal and sponsors are microscopic in comparison to funds from abroad. Abusing these funds, ENFA has been ignoring Nepali laws. Instead of ensuring regular domestic tournaments, ENFA is busy in planning a Europe trip for the officials. Such involvements are only likely to increase more risks for Nepali football. And that is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.